Welcome to the Arise podcast with Aisha. This is a faith-filled, soul-stirring space created to awaken you to who God has called you to be. Here we'll share stories, truths, revelations, and real-life journeys that remind you of one thing. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were created to rise. Whether you're healing, rebuilding, rediscovering, or just trying to breathe again, this is your safe place to grow, to stretch, and to boldly step into the life heaven has written for you. So take a deep breath, lean in, and open your hearts. Let's begin. Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Arise podcast with Aisha. Drum roll. I am so happy and grateful for you that you are here and you're tuned in listening. It meant so much to me, and I say welcome. Let's begin this journey together. So, two things. I am actually very excited but still very scared about this. So you could say I'm kind of like excitedly scared. I'm excited because this is something that I know that I am supposed to do, and it's something that there've been a longing or a deep knowing within me that this is what I should do to lend my voice, to speak. And I'm also excited because I know that in doing this, it will open up a lot of possibilities. So much possibilities that I haven't seen. I don't even know. I can't fathom right now because I'm at the beginning stage. And so I know that there is so much that this is going to unpack. There's so much that this is going to open, even though I cannot see it, I don't know it yet. So all of those things are exciting. I'm scared on the other hand because, as with any new thing, it can be scary because it's an unfamiliar terrain. It's something that I'm trying to get myself into, to really get the hang of it, to get my groove, if that makes sense. And so there's that part of uncertainty and not really knowing what you're doing per se, even though you know what you're doing, in a way, in some sense. And there's also that part of you also just really being worried, or like really hoping that everything that is going to be shared, or everything that's going to be said here is going to be impactful to your audience, and it's going to reach them in the exact way that you want it to reach them. Our name is Arise, and I will be speaking to the origin of the name in a bit. But you just want your audience to really resonate and really catch what it is that you're doing or you're saying, so it makes sense, right? So all of those things are part of the things that are scary, and I've been actually a bit terrified about this for a bit, and I've been kind of like putting it off a bit because I was supposed to start in August, but for some reason, events of life, just different things, we're starting now. The good thing is we're here, we're starting. And so I had posted on my Instagram 2 weeks back, just introducing everything and saying that we'll be officially launching on the 1st of December and all that. And I remember after doing that post, I just like dropped my phone. In fact, I couldn't get into Instagram like the whole day because I was really scared. Like after posting it, since I have posted it, it's now like, okay, this is really happening. So I'm like scared, I'm like shaking, and I'm like, oh my god, I shouldn't have. Or did I just do something? I probably shouldn't have posted that. I'm doing this. Now I can't take it back. I'm actually doing this. So it was really terrifying. And in that moment, the scripture that came to my mind was the scripture when that says, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? And I began to like reminisce on what courage is. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the absence of discomfort. Because if there's no fear and there's no discomfort, then it won't be courage at all, because you're absolutely fine and you're going into it, facing it head on. But courage is doing it regardless. Courage is doing it even shaking, doing it even being scared, doing it even being anxious, doing it even though you're running around and you're like, oh my god, who sent me? Doing it regardless. That's what courage is. And that was quite comforting, to just take on courage. And I think it's also interesting because in the part of arising, you need to be courageous to arise. To arise to any occasion, to arise to anything, you need to be courageous. And so I just thought to share that briefly. But now I'll just be diving into why arise? Like, what do you do? What does arise mean? Like, what's the nitty gritty of what's the backstory of this podcast? And I'll be answering that, as you know, because we've said it a long time, many times, maybe just once since I started talking, but it's been said. The name of this podcast is the Arise Podcast with Aisha. And this podcast was basically created from three scriptures. And the first scripture, which is our anchor scripture, is Isaiah 60 verse 1, which says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you." And the second scripture is Ephesians 5 verse 14, which says, "Awake, O sleeper, rise from your dead, and Christ will give you light." And the last scripture is Isaiah 61. It's a long read, but there's a part of that read that talks about you're the planting of the Lord. You'll be called the planting of the Lord, the oak of righteousness, right? To rebuild the old ruins. And all of these things are a call for you to rise up. And you might be wondering, what am I arising from? Was I sleeping before? The other scripture says, "Awake, you who sleep." It's basically arising into purpose, arising into becoming all that you have been, all that you've been created to be. You know, Miles Monroe of Blessed Memories will say, "The richest place on earth is the graveyard." And that is because a lot of people die with so much potential locked inside of them. They die with so much value and so much weight that they would have expended to this world. But we never had the chance or the opportunity to glean in or to benefit from their essence or to benefit from the reason why they were here, because they never arose to fully become. They never arose to fully use the potential that is locked up on the inside of them, such that it no longer becomes a potential, but it now becomes a full product. And that is one of the reasons why we are here to spread the message, like the voice shouting in the wilderness of our generation. But we are going to be shouting, "Arise, arise, awake, you who sleep. Let Christ give you light. Let Christ give you life, because life is locked up in the inside of you, so you can breathe." And the main vision of this podcast basically is to inspire everyday people to rise into the fullness of who God has created them to be. You know, there is a reason why we are here on earth. As we navigate through life and all this, sometimes it might just be a tendency. You come to a point in life where you are just like, why am I here? What is the reason? Sometimes people also feel like probably they're not supposed to be here. Probably they're just here wasting. Nothing is working. Everything seems to be in disarray. Everything seems to be so painful. They carry or bear within them such anguish and such deep-rooted pain that they do not see anything anything good can come out of them, or they don't see any possibilities. But there is a reason why we are here. I believe that none of us are here based on just mere coincidence. We're not just here to just mark time and die. There is a purpose for our existence. There's a purpose for which we came. No manufacturer manufactures anything just for manufacturing's sake. They manufacture anything that is manufactured for a purpose. And so us being here, we are not just here for nothing. We are here for a purpose. We are here for an assignment. We are here for a reason. And deep locked up in the inside of us is hidden. That purpose is locked up on the inside of us. It's an inner witness in the inside of us that knows that we are here for a purpose, that knows that we are here for a reason. And that is why sometimes when we navigate life and we are not actually living or fulfilling that purpose, we feel some sense of emptiness, because within you, the essence for which you are here does not feel fulfilled. The reason, the core of your being is lacking. Something is lacking. Something is not aligning. So you go about life feeling empty, feeling discouraged, feeling there's something wrong. And that is because there's an arising, an awakening that needs to happen on the inside of you. And some of the ways that we want to use to actually create this inspiration is to create a space where stories, writings, teachings, and testimonies ignite an inner awakening, um, moving listeners to rise, rebuild, and boldly step into their God-given calling. So those are some of the ways we want to use to spur up that. Because as I've on my in my short journey and my own little experience that I've had, I realized that a lot of people I come across rather, they have so much to offer, so much to give. And sometimes they don't even realize, they don't even see it. I think sometimes we have so much locked up on the inside of us that we become so familiar with it that we cannot even see our essence or touch our essence. While on the other hand, there are some people that know that yes, there is more. Yes, that I was here for a purpose. I have so much potential and all that. But somehow they just feel like I don't have strength. Like there's no strength for me to push. There's no strength. I really want to arise. I really desire to do that. But there's no strength from within me. You know, sometimes you, even on this walk, you cannot walk it alone. You need someone to hold your hand. And that holding of hand could feel like a podcast. It could be someone. It could be something you listen to that spurs up something on the inside of you that causes there to be an awakening. That is almost as though the person is speaking to you directly, and there is like a coming alive of something from within you that boosts you up rather. It boosts you up to arise, to really stand up, to begin to fulfill purpose, to begin to live according to your design, according to the plan that you were created here for. And so sometimes I know that could be tricky because of some maybe circumstances of life or the situations or where you just found yourself in. But I want to also say that our stories are part of the process. The difficult times, the tears, everything that happens, the anguish, the pain, they are important and they are necessary for the journey. They are necessary for the process of your becoming. Because my story, your story, is not a mistake. In fact, our stories and our stories and our rising are possibilities. They give permission for others to rise again. They give permission for another person to also rise. Because if you go through a season or a process of anguish, a process of almost giving up and all, but you still manage to arise and to become, what you have done is that you have not just become for only yourself, but you have become for others, because you have now become a map or a billboard of a potential, a map of a possibility. And so in you becoming and in you arising, you have given permission for others that are experiencing or have experienced similar circumstances with you to also arise, because they see you and see a possibility that this person has gone through similar experiences as I have, or even worse, but see, they are here now. So you actually give them a possibility that yes, there is more. There is more to what I'm experiencing. There is more to this pain and this situation. And as I said, it is a process. The process of growth, of becoming, of walking in purpose, of pouring out yourself, of walking according to your true design and the true reason why you're here. It's a process, and the process entails a lot of stages, different things that we have to go through. But I don't know what stage you're in. I don't know what place you're in right now. But this podcast is created to meet you at any point that you are in, to be able to hold your hands and for us to continue this journey. You know, it is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It is a marathon, and it's a journey of endurance. A journey of endurance. And on this podcast, we'll be talking about identity, purpose, becoming. Who am I? Who are you really? Do you know you? Have you met yourself? And just unpacking and unlocking all of the essence that is hidden on the inside of us, so that we can truly live a life, a holistic life, a life of fulfillment, a life that we can be proud of, a life that the generations after us, yet unborn, can be proud of, a life that The children after us and the children's children after us, when they look back, they will be like, yes, my grandma, my grandpa, my ancestor, they did something, they did a thing that changed the trajectory of our lives. And so I don't know where you are at. I don't know if you might be feeling as if you're behind, you might be feeling as if you're not good enough, as if you're disqualified, as if you're late to the occasion, as if you're too broken to become everything that God has placed on the inside of you. That is a lie. You're never too broken. You're not behind. You're never disqualified. There is still hope for you despite your situation. There is still hope for you despite where you are at now. Where you are at is not the end of your story. Where you are at is just a chapter in your book. It is just a chapter in your book. There is still beauty yet untold. There is still beauty in the chapters in the chapters to come. Don't look at the chapters that you've already experienced and use it as a guide or as a gauge to just write off the other chapters that you have not experienced. There is more locked up on the inside of you. And we plan and we hope to unravel that. We plan and we hope to inspire you to take active steps to begin to unravel that. So I implore you to rise. Rise scared. Rise shaken. Rise audaciously. Rise because heaven is waiting for your yes. Rise because the tribe, your people that are waiting for your voice are searching for your voice. Do not allow your voice to be missing. Rise because purpose does not bloom in comfort. It blooms in obedience. It blooms in courage. And you didn't find this podcast by accident, and you're not here by mistake. You were led here. You were drawn here. You were called here. And this is a moment of becoming. And I hope that you find that, and you find courage, and you find the vigor and the audacity that you need to arise from listening in. And we're just beginning, and because we're beginning, the next episode will be talking about the betting season, and I'm going to be sharing a short read from my journal that from a short thing I wrote about the birthing season. And in episode 2 rather, we'll be talking about what it really feels like when God is trying to birth something new through you. The stretching, the pressure, the discomfort, the isolation, the unexpected transitions, and the supernatural strength that comes when you surrender to the process. Thank you so much. We will just be unraveling this and just be unpacking it together. I'm so excited. I'm super, super excited for this journey. And I hope that me sharing like what we intend to achieve, our vision, the scriptures and all, kind of like helped to give you like a deeper insight or to glean into the reason why this was created in the first place. And also, if we look at this from a different perspective, but still a different perspective, but it still ties to everything. We find out that in our world today, people who do disservice to humanity, people who spew darkness, people who do not, what they say or what they do not edify. It rather actually puts down. It rather sends negative energy and puts negativity into the world, are very bold and very loud about their stance. They are very audacious with what they believe in. They do not cower in silence. They do not keep quiet. They actually go forth and they speak with such boldness. They speak with such audacity, regardless of your opinion, regardless what you have to say about it. And we find that oftentimes we who have like essence to give, positivity to give, light to give in this world, tend to be very shy and cower in darkness, tend to be very comfortable with our voice not being heard. But I think that in this generation, to do the next generation, even in this generation and to do the next generation after this generation, great service, we need to shake up that discouragement, shake off that shyness, shake off being a coward, and rise up to lend our voice to justice, to lend our voice to light, to lend our voice to righteousness and things that uplift and put people up and not put people down. So there is a need for us to no longer be quiet. And you cannot no longer be quiet and thrive in your comfort zone. You cannot no longer be quiet and love obscurity. For you to lend a voice, for you to no longer be quiet, it means that you need to arise. You need to tap from that which is locked up on the inside of you, your true essence. There is more to you. What you are seeing about yourself is only minute compared to that which is locked up on the inside of you. There is so much. Williams Butler, one of my good poems in which he wrote was The Second Coming. And there was a part of it that he said that the best lack convictions, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. So that goes to say that most times we who in quotes, you have your business strategies, you're this, you're that, you give essence, you're an excellent person, but you see, even in your place of work, you're so timid. You like to be at the back end. But the people that are not as good as you are, people that that maybe you're even training them or you're even teaching them, they are so bold. They go forward, interact with top management, and they get the positions. Not because they are better than you or they are more smarter than you on paper, but because they are more audacious. Because they have realized that they cannot thrive in darkness. They have realized that nothing blooms in silence. And so they have decided to stand up and lend their voice and to be seen. So we must adopt that notion. We must adopt and not be scared of being seen, not be scared of being heard. We must arise to the occasion. We must arise to our destiny. We must arise to our purpose, because no longer will darkness continue to have the field of day. No longer should darkness continue to reign while we are here. No longer should our voices continue to be covered because we are scared. No longer should our voices continue to be dimmed because we are timid. We must arise. We must be strong and courageous. We must arise and shine, for the light has come, and indeed the glory of the Lord is risen upon us. We must awake, all who that slumber, and arise from the dead so that Christ can give us light. And we must arise and be fully planted as seeds of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, so that we may partner with God to rebuild the old ruins. Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you for joining me on the Rise podcast with Aisha. If this episode stirred something in you, do not ignore it. Nurture it, move with it. And always remember, do it scared, do it shaking. Heaven backs the ones who move, and destiny responds to the ones who arise. Don't forget to like, follow, share. Please share with a friend. And I'll see you again on the next episode. Bye for now.